Well, hello, I'm Wayne Maguire and welcome to Property Success New Zealand, where each week I bring to you those experts who share with you their insights into the real estate market here in New Zealand. And this week we have Kathleen Cook, who is an expert property manager with 20 years experience. And Kathleen will share with us in this digital age, what is the best way to communicate with your clients and with your customers. We go out on the road and we'll head down to the Bay of Plenty, see what that market's been doing and see if we can get some predictions for 2016. After that, head north of Auckland and I'll show you a property that's absolutely spectacular. It sits in the $20 million price bracket. That's all on Property Success New Zealand today. Well, it's my pleasure to welcome Kathleen Cook, who is an expert property manager. So I'm very excited today to know more about her business and how she does it. So Kathleen, welcome. Great having you here.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you. And right from the start, I think people that are very, very successful typically cut out a niche within a market. Is that how you've approached property management?
Yes, I started 20 years ago.
Wow.
I had 2 properties when I changed companies. I was
Yep.
with one company for 3 years. Then I went to the previous company that I was with before joining Ray White.
Yep.
I was there for 17 years.
That's amazing, isn't it? 17 years.
And I don't know whether it was luck or what, but I seemed to attract people who had upmarket properties.
And that's your niche, is
And-
those top-end
Yes.
properties and the clients
Yes.
and also the tenants that go with them?
Yes, and I was very fortunate because I had a business in Queen Street in Auckland, and I knew a lot of people. Then I was elected to the Auckland City Council, and I knew a lot of people through that.
Yeah.
So my daughter and her friends did Remuera with little cards telling them where I was and what I was doing. And from that it all started, and it's just been a big snowball and rolled on over
Sort
the
of
years.
20 years
Yes.
later.
Yeah.
Now, we're obviously based in Auckland, but
Yes.
geographically, where do your properties and where do your clients tend to sit?
Mainly the city,
Okay.
but also the eastern suburbs.
Okay.
Okay, I do have a lot of owners overseas.
Ah, okay.
I have a lot of offshore owners, people who own property in Auckland
Yep.
and obviously like it rented. And then there are also people that were tenants that bought property in
Yes.
Auckland and then have been transferred overseas.
And I know from when we've had a chat that your service and the way you're looking after the tenants and the respect shown to the tenants is very important, isn't it?
It's very important. I'm not exactly great on computers, but I like people. I've always
Fantastic.
worked with people.
Yep.
So I'm used to calling people on the telephone and talking
Beautiful.
to people. People
Yep.
will come and see me. When my overseas owners are in Auckland, they always make a point of coming and spending
Wow.
time with me. So it's very hands-on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And very personal. It's
Very
face to face or
yes.
straight over the phone with the
Yes.
clients, not hiding
Yes.
behind an email or anything like
No,
that.
as I say, I'm not great with computers.
So if you summarise your business, is that the ethos of your business, the
Yes,
service
definitely.
that you're
It's the
interested in?
service and talking to people.
Yeah.
You've got to have people in front of you and talking to them. And that's what I've said to young people that I've sort of had behind me. I've always said, meet them, talk to them.
And I think that's interesting. And now your new home, Kathleen's new home, is down in Ray White Mission Bay. So you're perfectly positioned. It's a lovely place for people to come to. The parking's easy. There's always somewhere great to have coffee or stop and have lunch, and that's going to suit you. And I think that's also interesting if somebody is thinking as somebody who might have a career in property management. I think that's a great career. They should think about that as opposed to maybe it's just emails or it's technically correct on a system. Do you feel the same?
I believe that the people that I have built relationships with in the 20 years, and a lot of those people I still have relationships with, and it hasn't been through emails, it's been talking to them.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I think that's just great information. I love the way you do your business, and I'm just looking forward to maybe we can stack up another 20 years together with property management down in Mission Bay. How's that?
Thank you, Wayne.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. All right, so next we show you our road trips. I was lucky enough to get out of the studio, ditch the tie, and we went down to the Bay of Plenty. We're going to see what's happened in that market. And then I've also gone north of Auckland, and you will just see a beautiful, spectacular property. So here we go, we're right on the Mount Beach, and I'm with Greg Purcell. Greg, great to be here, mate.
Good to see you, Wayne.
Neat to be back, and I feel a bit odd because I spend my summers here, but not dressed like this. And I guess neither do you, but Greg's the owner of Ray White here in Mount Maunganui, and also Papamoa, so you've got your beach stretching all the way down. Greg, 2015, how was the real estate market here in this beautiful part of New Zealand?
Caught us all on the back foot, Wayne. We couldn't believe it. Hello, Auckland. You suddenly found us en masse. Did you not notice us here before? It was astonishing. We've never seen.
We thought it was just holidays, but then we've worked out we can live here too. Okay.
You didn't need to have the passport holder. It was all good. No, it was astonishing. We've never seen numbers like it coming from the north.
Just stunning, eh? Those Aucklanders poured in.
I think they were realising the equity they'd gained in our own suburbs, and went, if we take this, we can have a different sort of life down here.
How fascinating, because again in Auckland also they were missing out at auctions. We would see, Greg, 15 people stacked up on an auction, 1 wins, 14 miss out. So I guess they decided, why keep doing that? Come down here and live like this year round.
Absolutely. We've seen a mirrored version of that last year, a scaled down version of that. I guess 2016 is an unknown as to where we go. I've just come from an auction where we sailed past the reserve considerably, and that carries the trajectory of 2015 forward. We just don't know how far out that elastic's going to.
Can you predict 2016? Would you have a feel for it in the market?
I know what I'd like it to be, Wayne, and that could be different again. What I'd like to see is, I would like to see the volume continue, and I'd like prices just to ease off the current trajectory, because I think the current trajectory is unsustainable for a long period of time.
So you're sounding a little bit like Auckland, which is we don't want to bubble, because we don't want to burst. We want it to calm down a little bit, but to keep the volumes up, and that may be the same as we see here in the Bay of Plenty.
I would imagine so.
Now, this will be interesting. Is that consistent across owner-occupiers and moving down for the house, or how do we compare that to somebody with a rental investment? What happens with that market down here?
The rental market's been incredibly tight as well.
Okay, great.
So people are future-proofing from Auckland as well. So they're buying and not necessarily coming here to live right now. But they just don't envisage they can afford that in Auckland, and never will be able to.
Which they're just about right. Okay, so that rental market. Now, I appreciate that you're going to give us some time this afternoon. We're going to have a look around. I know as we look across this patch, and we're literally below the mount, from sort of back a street maybe over, where anything 300,000-400,000 for apartments. Entry level. Yep. And then we can scale all the way up to the top here of the towers, and where
who knows, to be honest with you, because I haven't seen one of the premiums go for a while, so who would know? But the prices have shifted significantly.
They'd be up in the 3-4 million range.
Yes, I would imagine.
Easily. Okay, brilliant. So there we go. Let's jump in the Jeep. We're not going to go down and jump into the volleyball. It'd be tempting though, but very embarrassing. Let's jump in the Jeep and we'll go and have a feel for where the prices are in this market.
Cheers, Wayne.
Well, here we go, Greg. The traffic's a bit easier than when I was here Christmas and New Year's, but we're on the iconic Marine Parade now. So this is first class along here?
This is blue chip real estate if there ever was around here, Wayne. And nothing's really changed from when you were down here. I suppose it was the same, and I guess there's maybe the decimal points move slightly to the right. As you can see, there's a real mix of apartments, developments, and there's even some old school real estate along here. It's a whole oranges and apples and oranges along here.
So I guess some of these properties, in fact, the owners would disappear over that Christmas period and maybe rent them out short term.
The short-term rental over summer is certainly something that some of our tenants can get a bit frustrated with from time to time. They're there for all the hard bits, then come for that 6 to 8 weeks. Oh, we'll see you later. Thanks for that.
Oh, they're pushed out.
And enjoy the cardboard box. But no, it's just part and parcel of living in such a sort of blue chip area. And in some instances it's usually understood prior to them moving in.
Yeah, fantastic. High demand over that period. You know, your population goes through the roof, doesn't it?
It's unbelievable, and you know the old school Mounties just can't quite believe what the Mount has become.
Yes. Yep. And then nice also, and I remember from when I used to live down here, Greg, and we were all knocking around in the same business together, that it is nice when perhaps the holiday makers head home again, and as a local you've got the place to yourself.
Well, I'd be careful with my response there, Wayne, as I'm talking to a potential audience who come and visit us. What wonderful people Aucklanders are. I can't speak highly enough of you. But I think there was boy races, and maybe it was the under-25s maybe that was probably doing everyone's head in there for a while. And they seem to have sort of got on top of that. There was a bit of, there's always a bit of contention over New Year.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people, a lot of youth from around the country head to the Mount in the New Year and tie one on. We were probably a little quieter about it in our day, and probably not so much social active media as well.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't make any comment about that, but I certainly do feel with my girls who are 10, 11, I feel very safe down here at the Mount.
Yes.
So it's a nice family place to be. We're either over here enjoying, you know, the surf beach, or head on the other side and you pick up Pilot Bay.
Well, I suppose it's the closest. I'm not trying to compare them to what maybe the Gold Coast, a scaled down version of the Gold Coast, or parts of the Sunshine Coast are. Different feel, but it's the closest I think that New Zealand possibly has.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, dollar-wise, we're coming down. We'll hit Tay Street just down here.
It'd be pretty hard to find something on the dark side of $1 million on the north side of Tay Street.
So we're all $1 million plus as we come up. Maybe Tay Street south, if we go in a little bit, it becomes a little bit more affordable.
Yes, it might sit under that. Again, it's very apples and oranges, so I'm loath to talk in specifics, but broad brushstrokes.
Yep. And that makes sense as we go past, and you see, as you said, there really is a mix of styles of property, isn't there?
You can see it, can't you?
Some old Kiwi real estate still sitting there.
Look at that, the Huntley brick and wooden joinery, and one day, you know, you imagine that someone will buy that and probably push that over and start again. But they'd be paying a lot for the privilege.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. All right, well, let's push on and we'll get down past Tay Street.
So Wayne, down here, you would pick real estate up maybe, and I'm just throwing it out there, maybe 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 onwards.
Wow.
A lot more affordable than where we were.
Well, look, and there's the sign, beach access. So, you know, we're literally a street back from the beach. You can walk straight down with your board and you're in that price range.
Yeah, well, you can be. I mean, if you hit it right, you know, it can go all the way, of course, up here as well. I want to put that caveat in there.
Absolutely.
But, you know, it starts lower.
Yep.
It starts, the entry level's lower.
So Greg, here we are. Everybody should recognise this. We're back in the main shopping strip just back off the beach. I was thinking about your rental market. Tell me, what happens there? Is there strong demand, good returns? Is that something people from Auckland or outside of the area are looking at?
You know, I suppose the rental market, Wayne, reflects the sales market to some degree.
Okay.
The rents have gone up significantly in the last year.
Wow.
But then again, comparatively to where you've come from, it's still really affordable. So you know, people can come down with a family and, you know, easily for $500-600 a week, find a family home, you know, to rent, no problems at all. That'll be fine.
Okay.
You know, that'll be good. But you know, maybe 18 months ago, that would have been possibly $450 to $500 a week.
Yeah, okay, so that has come up. So now that's good news. If I'm an Aucklander thinking about pushing some money forward into this area, I can buy and I'm still going to get a sensible return.
High demand. Of course, as you would know, it's so hard getting that dual return of yield and equity growth, isn't it, Wayne? So I think in this instance, people should be grateful to get the equity growth that they've had, and maybe the yield's not what it was. I think the rest of provincial New Zealand's sort of doing better there, but they won't get the growth, maybe.
And sitting back in Auckland, we're a little bit luckier, so we're getting good capital growth, but we've also got pretty good rents sitting in there. But I do see that Auckland market, the rental market, moves up and down. You know, if it's not weekly, it's certainly monthly.
Wow.
So Greg, here's something I don't want you to tell our sales team. So I hope they're not watching this this episode, but it is obvious for me now, driving back in after Christmas and being back here on a work day. If you are a salesperson in any other area, you would have to be looking at this thinking, I need to phone Greg and get a job down here. there must be demand for people coming in.
Great question, Wayne. And if there are any salespeople watching this right now, working their butt off, and I don't know where, and are not as happy as they think they ought to be.
Anywhere but Mission Bay.
Anywhere but Mission Bay. I'm sorry, because that's obviously a first equal. Then give me a call. Absolutely, Greg Purcell. It's a fantastic place to live. You know that.
I do. So you've got the lifestyle. Your values are up, your returns are up, your volumes are up, and yet you haven't got the traffic. And you've got this, so you can be surfing, you can be out here, you can be up the mountain. How amazing.
Could I just say that Papamoa now has a set of traffic lights. That's how it moves.
Wow, there you go. Hey? Automatic or manual?
I don't know, everyone ignores it. Doesn't really matter what colour they are. It's just interesting they're there.
Well, there you go. That was a nice little tour around the mount. So, Greg, really appreciate that. I understand I'm going to have a quick chat to John and get some updates there also. And I can't keep him waiting. I think he's got buyers he's about to do some business with.
He does, Wayne. Hey, thanks for coming, and do bring your checkbook next time.
I will
Good
do. Well, here we go. We're pretty lucky. We're down in Ray White, Mount Maunganui, and it's neat to be out of Auckland and out of the studio also. Joining me today is John Paisley, one of the top agents and certainly a name everybody knows down here in the Mount. So John, great being here with you. I appreciate that your time's precious. You're about to race off and sell something with a buyer you're running around. But John, can you tell us what's been happening here in the Mount Maunganui market?
Yeah, great. Thanks. Firstly for saying g'day, and really the Mount has been going very, very well, Wayne. So last year we had 716 sales for the 12 months, an average of about 60 sales per month.
Yeah, that's a good number.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. But conversely, January 2016, we saw 73 sales in the Mount. So it's still climbing. There's still a lot of interest in the properties, and the average.
That's really good, isn't it? Because in other markets, the agents are missing from the market in January, so it's probably pretty hard to do something. But here, January's a strong month for you.
It is actually. In actual fact, one of our agents actually fielded a call on Christmas Day, and the contract was actually signed.
Oh wow!
So it was brilliant.
Okay,
brilliant.
that's good.
So yes, there is definitely good interest in Mount Maunganui.
And now tell me, John, what are the buyers that you're seeing coming through the Mount market?
Well, predominantly we've had Aucklanders, especially for the last 8 months. I mean, our winter was our summer. We couldn't believe it. There was so much interest. And that's proceeded through the months, and there's still a lot of interest from out-of-towners, but conversely there's also a lot of locals who are very interested in moving around, moving up, scaling down. People from Papamoa, for example, they just want to get closer to the village scene.
Okay, so the Papamoa people keep coming further up. I guess the Tauranga people, there's always that desire to come back over the bridge.
Definitely, you know, there's this beautiful beach that we've got, there's beautiful scenic walks. It's an amazing place, and all the people really want a piece of it.
We're all jealous when we come down here, as our family does over Christmas, and then we have to go home. It's lovely being home, and for us that's a beach also, but it's neat being down here. I think that comment about the Aucklanders coming down, that makes sense. We've seen that as we've gone through the data with our experts when we've been back in the studio. So now you're feeling that on the ground. So John, now what's your feeling for the rest of 2016?
A rather optimistic one, actually. We've still got a lot of buyer inquiry, and the internet stats are very, very high.
Okay. Yeah, good.
So it's just I think it's keep on going with what we've got, really, and I can't see it really slowing down. Yeah.
Still expecting those Aucklanders coming down?
Yeah, certainly. But whilst I'm aware, really need to keep an eye on the Auckland market, because we are heavily reliant. Well, we have been seeing such interest from the Auckland market that we really need to keep an eye on that and make sure that that's going to remain the same.
And I think that's a good point. Our auctions, we used to have 10, 15 people stacked up at an auction. Now that changed at a certain point towards the end of last year, so it'll be interesting to see if there's a trickle flow on coming down in your market.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because we haven't had that here. I mean, we have less numbers compared to Auckland, of course. I mean, but Auckland, well, Tauranga is basically a smaller scale of Auckland. We've got the beautiful harbour, and we've got lots of good business down here. So I think that's why a lot of Aucklanders like this place. They can actually liken it to Auckland.
Yeah, it feels comfortable and familiar. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Mate, thank you so much for your time. Been fantastic. It's great to see you again.
Great,
and
great to see you
good
too,
luck
mate.
with your buy today.
Yeah,
mate. I hope
thank
the
you very
deal
much.
comes together.
Yeah, better
Thank
get
you.
going. Thank you very much.
So there you go, that's the Mount Maunganui market. I hope you appreciate and enjoyed that. We got to have a look around. We met Greg, who owns the businesses here, and we also got to spend some time with John, and we hear their feel on the market 2015 looking back, and then that really hard question, what's happening or what do you expect to see happen in 2016? So great market as we look back inside, and very consistent with what our experts have told us as we ran through the end of 2015 of those Aucklanders coming down into this market. And I do appreciate also it is the locals that simply once you're here you don't leave, and maybe you just get closer to the water or closer up to the mount. So I've got to head back. We've got a really busy day of filming together and getting something in front of you, and we've got a special property that we're going to include today. So I had great fun down on Mount Maunganui, down on the beach, and now we've gone past Auckland again, and we're now up north. On offer, a spectacular property, so let's go straight in. Chrissy, my wife, who is the listing agent, is here also, so she's going to tell us everything we've got. Let's go and have a look. Wow, look at this. Isn't this incredible? Look at that view out there. The home itself, absolutely gorgeous. Hello, darling. How are you? What a wonderful place. How you doing?
Good.
All right, so here we go. That is just breathtaking. It's absolutely world class. The home here that we're about to have a look at is exactly the same. It is just perfect for the location. Chris, and you're the lucky person representing the property. Tell me about it.
Must have done something really good in a previous
I think
life.
so, yeah.
Yeah, we've absolutely got a world-class home here, set in a beautiful New Zealand setting where everything that is quintessential New Zealand is here.
Yeah.
The sea, the harbour, all of that. The lush green bush and the land, everything that we hold dear is right here. So whilst we're grand and beautiful and architectural, this is no one-trick pony, and it is a magic home. I'd love to show you through.
So we've got world class, but the best of New Zealand, which is, we know how good that is. Yeah, look, I love the invitation. Let's go through and see what's on offer. All right, so for entertaining, this must just be an absolute treat. You've got your spaces, but everything opens right up and picks up all of this too, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The house has been designed to pick up the best of the views, and so each wing, including the bedrooms, will open up each morning to the views. The entertaining, you can make it intimate or
Sure.
more formal. So whatever mood you're in, that's what you can do.
It suits that, and I guess that suits also how many people are here on a weekend, or if it's just the family at home by themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's a big home, but it's got enough intimate spaces that you don't feel like you're going to get lost here. So,
Yeah, it makes sense. So now tell me what happens here, because this is not your normal TV lounge or your cinema, is it?
No, this is the Circular Home Theatre, which is fantastic. What a great place to cuddle up and eat some popcorn.
And watch my TV show.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, there we go.
Let me shut it off.
Oh, okay, very smart, very smart.
So this is how it is.
Okay, gotcha. So that just closes that off, and maybe some part of the family does their own thing there. Courtyards, so we've got a courtyard out here, but we've got an internal courtyard. Hard to call it internal, it is just so large, but it is completely secure also, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at that, and then the pool out the back.
Yeah, sure. So the pool is inside, but all of the doors open right up so that you get that flow-through breeze there.
Sure.
This is the west courtyard, which is just a dream. So you catch the last of the afternoon rays.
Yep.
And we've got the north and east courtyard over there. So that's perfect for breakfast, all the way through lunch, but this is nice and sheltered. So we can open everything right up,
Yeah.
or if it's, you know, we've got the breezes that aren't giving us any favours that day, just shut it down and keep it more.
Close it down. So we can close off that side here, here, and here. But yet, if everything's closed, we've still got the view no matter what.
Absolutely, it's beautiful.
Oh, very, very smart, isn't it? Have you had a swim yet?
I haven't, but I work out earlier.
Beautifully, beautifully finished. Detail absolutely everywhere. Light coming in, sun, very warm on a day like today.
Yeah.
But then you can open up and maybe if you need a little breeze can come through.
Absolutely. Actually, interestingly, the home is heated with all the way through with underfloor heating.
Okay.
But it's very rarely used.
So you're going to pick up, yeah, I guess because the sun's coming up over there, all the way around the house and then setting off on that side.
This is one of my favourites, Wayne. This is like the Polynesia room. It is absolutely New Zealand through and through. From
Yep.
all of the colours, the earth, wind, sea, everything is themed to take the best of New Zealand.
And same again, fairly well self-contained. It's got its own bathroom, obviously it is an ensuite, it's got its own dressing. But in here, a little bit more for the guests at this end.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can, you know, come away and stay away if that's what you want to do. But, I mean, it's
Wow.
hard. What are you going to do? Which view are you going to choose today? I mean, this is fantastic.
So everything on offer feels so warm and inviting for a family and also for their guests, and it is world class. Quite relaxed, I think, upstairs and connected well with nature. Down here, we come into an area that, again, has that feel, but it steps up for your formal dining, doesn't it?
It's much more intimate. It's a much more
Yeah.
intimate space, and it really feels lodge-esque. You know, I feel like we're at Hooker Lodge or somewhere like that, which is
Yeah.
just a beautiful place to be at any time. So to emulate that is amazing.
Shall we stay here for dinner?
Yeah, let's do that.
Good idea. Well, it couldn't be any warmer, and I don't think the property could be any more gorgeous. It is, as you said right at the beginning, world class. The quality of construction, the design, the thought that's gone into it, the palette and the materials and the colours, absolutely everything's amazing, isn't it? Then we come outside and we go through the organic garden. We're now in a more formal setting, and behind us is the pizza oven, where I think you guys are going to probably stop and have something to eat a little bit later.
Yeah.
Stunning, stunning property. So you must be so pleased to represent it and so proud of what the owners have done.
Oh, like absolutely proud of what they've done and extremely proud to be selected to represent them, absolutely. So look, we welcome your inquiry. We'd love to be able to host you in person up here.
Fantastic. So there we go. I know there's a helicopter sitting out the front, but I think I'm going to have to jump in the Jeep and head back down to Auckland. Thank you so much, darling. Well, that included our adventure on the road. So thank you for being with us. I'm Wayne Maguire, and next time, again, I'll have for you those experts who share their knowledge and their skills so that you can have property success here in New Zealand.